All right, guys. We're going to kick off this morning. For those of you, again, who don't know me, my name is Mike Walker. I've been in real estate for 23 years. I've been with Chirag Shah Coaching for the last 2.5 years, but Chirag and I go way back. We've had a 10-year relationship. I've been coaching real estate now for a greater part of over a decade. I've taught real estate and sales in plus 40 states now. So there are not a lot of situations that I haven't seen. Today's topic, however, is very branded. It's very compass focused, very specific, and it is about the three-phase marketing. So I've got Chirag, who is currently this morning on stage. We're going to be basically playing a recording for him. I'm going to help facilitate questions, and then obviously your accountability groups will take that a step further. So I am going to start this recording, and I will also be on the chat with everyone. I am going to turn off the ability, guys, for us to be able to just chime in or ask questions verbally throughout the actual presentation today. I will turn that off once we are done in regards to the actual video portion. So, all right, guys, here we go.
Good morning, and today we're going to go through the three-phase marketing playbook. So let's started. Three-phase marketing, when used correctly, can set you apart from the competition, help you earn more commissions, and ultimately win more listing agreements. So let's go through today's roadmap. The benefits of three-phase marketing, positioning your three-phase marketing. What is pre-marketing and why does it even matter? The 9 reasons for a private exclusive, the 9 benefits for a private exclusive, how to use these on listing presentations, the 3-step process to master pre-marketing, scripts and scenarios, my favorite, gathering feedback, the property launch formula, the secrets of selling value, the feature benefit destination model, and ultimately applied learnings. So what are the 4 distinct benefits? This will help you win more listings, earn more from commissions, create a better client experience. And that's what I really want us to focus on and ultimately set you apart from your competition. If you can master the pitch and the execution of three-phase marketing, all 4 of these benefits will happen for you almost instantly. So let's think about this. Three-phase marketing is what you do. The direct benefit is a launch strategy to maximize the equity in your home. That is the destination that your clients want, right? They want to know that you have a strategy and a plan to maximize the equity in your home. So stop talking about what you do. Start explaining the direct benefits and getting the clients to the destination that they want to get to. Now, when we think about pre-marketing and why it really matters, if you look at the best brands in the world, they utilize pre-marketing. If you're able to strategically launch a property 3 times, it is clear, concise, and quantifiable that'll create a better outcome for your clients. Some statistics from Compass from 2024, listings that did 3-phase marketing got 2.9% more, sold 8 days or 20% sooner, and were 30% less likely for a price drop. So this is a tool and a resource that can create urgency, find you serious buyers, allow you to deal with those clients who have aspirational pricing in a strategic and controlled environment, and ultimately reduce your time on the market. Now, this is one of my favorite things that we've created, right? It's, if you think about it, what are 9 reasons that a seller would want to go private exclusive? Number 1, it's a strategic way to market your home. Number 2, you gather momentum, targeted feedback, and ultimately you position your home, remember the destination, to maximize their equity. So here are the reasons: a protected marketing period, bespoke marketing strategy, the exclusivity effect, right? People pay more for things that don't think are available to everyone else. Curated buyer list, schedule flexibility. If you've ever sold your home, you know how important it is to have flexibility in your schedule, and those 1-hour showings that you have to have your house look like a showroom really is challenging. And it's a much less intrusive process. And the seller holds all the cards in the negotiation, right? I always say the best way to talk about this is, I'm not 100% sure if my client is going to go on the market, but I'm happy to present your offer. You give them a concierge level service, and not everyone wants their pictures on every real estate website. Now, here are the 9 distinct benefits, right? It keeps the sale confidential. Privacy is a big thing for many people. It minimizes frequent showing. We talked about time and control. Now, it engages serious buyers. When you're in a private exclusive, one of the benefits is you can require proof of funds, pre-approvals. You're allowing the seller to dictate the place, creates exclusivity and urgency. If they, I have a buddy of mine that I'm at a conference, and what he was saying is he has 20 different parties all going in with his team in the house for a private exclusive, and that will create exclusivity and urgency. Your marketing strategy is unique and it really shows what you do that's different from other agents. A better negotiation position. And I love the concierge support, right? You're doing every detail in the way that they want, and it allows the seller to just test the market discreetly. Meaning sometimes people need to find a house before they buy. They're just considering putting their home on, and you don't know whose home will be the perfect home for somebody else. Now, here is the three-step process. Number one, we need to internalize and understand the benefits, right? It's those 9 different things that we talked about, the features and the benefits, right? Then we need to practice and be able to effectively communicate the benefits in the context of why it's valuable to the clients and have a clear plan of execution, right? People love visual timelines. So when you're able to draw this out and show them you have a strategy, show them you have a plan, share with them how this gets to them the destination of maximizing the equity in their home, it will be something that literally people sign listing agreements for you just to get because it's only available here at Compass. Now, let's get into the nuts and bolts of scripts and scenarios. Before sharing the pre-marketing plan script, would you agree that homes with the greatest buyer demand get the best price? What seller in the world will say no to that? Now, one of my favorite phases, would it be okay if I showed you the exact 3-step process to achieve it, right? This is even before you go there. Now, when you're on the pitch, would it be okay if I shared with you the 9 benefits of pre-marketing? You're going to slide over that insert. We're going to give you a full 3 marketing phase playbook so you can take the information and make it your own, put your branding on it, and you slide over the benefits. Take a look at the 9 reasons and which one resonates with you. Now, here's the thing. Having a great pitch is talking about the things that the client wants to talk about, not the things that we want to talk about. So when you slide over the 9 reasons, the reason this works so well is they're going to self-identify with the reasons that resonate with them the most, right? And speak directly to what the client's interested in. It's not rocket science. It's not complicated. And look, in people's minds, if I want 3 things, you give me the 3 things, and now this is the investment, net, it's great. If you give me 9 things, I only want 3 things, my inkling is to cut your commission because I only need 3 things, so why would I be charged for 9? Seller, what is a private exclusive? It's an opportunity to start our marketing campaign strategically and build momentum. Would it be okay if I shared some benefits with you? You pass over the 9 benefits, follow the same process, right? We share with them the benefits, we ask them which ones resonate with them the most, and that's what we talk about. Now, the next one is, can we do a private exclusive and coming soon? Absolutely, they work hand in hand. Would you like me to explain how? Absolutely, Chirag, I would love that. Private exclusive is to test the market, gather feedback, and then we go into the second phase where we have an enhanced digital marketing campaign, make the adjustments from phase 1 to a broader audience. How do you think this strategy will impact maximizing the equity for your home? Now, if you see what we're doing by asking that anchoring question in the end, is we're getting the seller to start speaking about how our plan, our strategy, and choosing us as their agent will directly impact the destination they want to go to, which is maximizing the equity in their home. What's the difference between a private exclusive and coming soon? Private exclusive is a discrete launch phase, and it's just to our internal network. Compass coming soon is we gather our feedback, we make the necessary adjustments, we start building momentum, we're able to test certain things in your home, and then we launch to a broader audience. Starting with private exclusive builds momentum. Does that make sense? Do you feel that a multiple launch strategy will help maximize the equity in your home? So the thing that I want you guys to focus on with these questions is depending on who you're speaking to and the context in which you're speaking to them, these are the most frequent questions that come up. So it's really important that we practice these questions so we understand how to effectively communicate the benefits of what we offer. All right, let's go through the property launch formula. I want you to list the home as a private exclusive. There are two things that all of you and real estate agents all around America love: food and drinks. So get a sponsor and have a mini event. Now, inviting your colleagues is really important here. You might have to pick up the phone, you might have to text people, you might have to announce it in your office meeting, but give people a reason to come. The second part of phase one is be specific on what you're looking for feedback on. Is it price? Is it condition? Is it the price related to the location, right? If someone asks you, can I have feedback? Feedback on what? It's confusing, chaotic, and you just go back to some general vague answer. Then you transition to Compass coming soon. Now, you want to make the adjustments based on the feedback. You want to go into digital ads and launch a marketing campaign to Facebook, Instagram, and Google. And then this is where we really want you to focus on agent to agent marketing. Right now, this is where you can use the network tool, Agent Finder. I would suggest, even if you don't know how to use any of those, you can always go in the MLS and in that neighborhood, pull up the last 24 months of sales to see which agents have sold homes in that neighborhood so you can most effectively understand who to market to. Then we take all of that feedback and traffic and we go to phase three, which is launching it on the market. Now, what I want you to do is, whether you door knock, send handwritten notes, door hangers, call people and circle prospecting, whatever your strategy is, you want to get the neighbors there, right? Invite them with, again, food and drinks 30 to 45 minutes before. And if I was trying to drive up the price as much as I could, I would suggest that you have all of the neighbors in there and you invite people back from phase one and phase two and do a mega open house and let people know you're taking offers the next day or the following day after that. Now, this will work best in scenarios where you price the home most effectively, right? You will have interest from both phases. And when you go to the open market, you'll have interest from all phases. And when people see other people in the house, it will have them bidding emotionally versus logically. So this is a great process to share with your clients. Now, the secrets of gathering feedback. You have to measure what matters, meaning be specific on what you want feedback on. Number three is the single most important thing that most agents skip that I want you all to do. Align with the seller on the purpose and outcome of the feedback. If there's no purpose, outcome, and next step, write those three things down. What is the purpose of the feedback? What is the outcome you're looking for? And based on the information, what's the next step you're going to take? And remember my quote, the sole purpose of data is to make future decisions from it. So what is the outcome and next step from feedback? Now, if it's pricing, great. If it's condition, if you're going to do concierge, you're going to make updates, great. But you want the seller to have an idea and be in alignment with them on what they're going to do once you launch the house 2 different times before you go on the market. We talk about this often. Perceived value is what you offer, your services, your resources, your benefits. Your actualized value is based on the communication, the materials you use, and what the seller feels they're getting from you in exchange for the compensation they pay. People get paid not for perceived value, but actualized value. The biggest common pitfalls in demonstrating value. Look, showing value is projecting your fears, doubts, worries, and lack of confidence of earning an income onto somebody else. You fail to focus on the seller needs and you don't know your value proposition, right? If you don't know how to use all these tools in your tool belt and know your talk tracks, communication, materials, and resources, you're not going to demonstrate the full actualized value of what you actually have to offer the seller in maximizing the equity of their home. And the other one is you talk too much before understanding their priorities. We all know to do the Med C. And the secret to selling value is practicing your pitch, right? So let's go into this feature benefit destination model. The feature is what you offer. We're going to gather feedback. The benefit is we're going to make adjustments before going live. And then the destination is they want the best first impression, maximize demand, which drives maximized equity, right? So start wrapping your head on how this three-step process works. You can talk about the feature, then you can start talking about with them a conversation about the benefits, and then you can start talking about the destination. By completing these three phases, what do you think will happen? Do you think it'll give you your best first session? How do you think it'll impact demand? Let them talk the benefits from their own perspective in their own words, and it will register in their brain differently. So here are my tips. How to communicate value. Start by asking the right questions to uncover their priorities, the Med C. Present your services through their lens, what they want. Ensure that the value is aligned with their goals, their motivations, their expectations, their disappointments, and their concerns. Look, confidently present three-phase marketing. Display tangible benefits. You have all of those benefits. Collect relevant feedback for adjustments. We all need to get very strategic on feedback. Remember, purpose, outcome, next step. Build trust with the seller by focusing on their highest priorities. So Mike is now going to open this up for a discussion. And I encourage you all to, one, talk about where your gaps are. Two, if you have a success story that's clear, concise, quantifiable that your colleagues can learn from, make sure to share it with the group. And as always, with love in my heart, I love you all. Can't wait to see you all soon. And if you have not already, make sure to sign up for our first Client Connect.
All right, guys, welcome, welcome. So a couple things from that, especially because I think that there's a lot to cover on this topic just in general. And let me see if I can share this with you. Nope, that's not what. I'm going to keep it actually here for the discussion today. So one question I always get, and I got this on private chat, was the compliance or the conflict around private exclusives. And I just want to address it. Private exclusives are an okay approach in every state across the country, as long as it is being internally marketed and not promoted to other brokerages. As soon as you start to promote it to other brokerages, most of your MLS guidelines, most of your boards, regulations, and rules, et cetera, will start to impact the fact that you then have to make it available to everyone all at the same time. So just a quick compliance topic on private exclusives. It is possible by staying internally with the marketplace of just Compass agents to participate in that. But let's open it up. If you have questions, and Nomita, I'm gonna probably, there might be some of these questions, guys, especially if it's Compass related, that I might actually reflect or deflect to somebody else on answering. So where is the Client Connect at? That is not a question I can answer, but I'm sure there's somebody here on the call that can. It looks like Ryan said they are emails we have received for the March 20th event. And that might be something from previous here. So if anybody wants to, though, open up and jump in, you guys should be able to now unmute yourselves. And if you want to share a success story, if you want to share something else in regards to something that you found valuable out of this training, I think that would be the best place for us to start. And if not, I can start to moderate with some other questions.
I have another question.
Sure.
How would this work with somebody, say, whose property's been listed before, but it didn't sell?
I mean, it's still part of how we're preparing things and how we're adjusting someone's position. So whether it's a new price, whether it's a new position, whether it's new photography, whether it's a new way to kind of discuss that property, three-phase marketing is helping sellers understand a fairly complex situation of what we do in advance, all the way up to then making it available to the public marketplace. So it's still a very relevant conversation for us to have, even if the property just came off the market with another agency, because it helps sellers understand more about what do we do internally? What do we do then with this coming soon period? And I'll talk and answer Debbie's question here in just a second on that. And then what do we do, obviously, when we go live and it's back available to the public? So, Debbie, why is the Compass coming soon any different than a private exclusive? Private exclusive is just for Compass agents. Coming soon starts to prepare the public. It actually starts to prepare other agencies. It prepares other buyers. It's something where I can now actually start the discussion around this property is going to be coming on the market Friday, Saturday, etc., and really start to build up the momentum for an open house for getting an initial sale, etc.
So you're talking that we're doing coming soon in the MLS, not just coming soon among Compass. Because
It depends. So that is dependent on the MLS system. There are systems that are restrictive in regards to that.
I think we.
But it has a dual purpose. Yes, it shows that within the Compass system, obviously internally, and then if populated to your MLS and that MLS allows for it, it will also show there.
Thank you.
You bet. What else we got, guys? The other thing I think that was really important that I want you to focus on this as a takeaway is having the conversation with clients about their feedback and having, as Chirag put it, as a purpose and outcome and a what's next statement, meaning having a conversation with sellers and saying, okay, what's the purpose of feedback? Is it literally just to aggregate a bunch of comments for you to just mull over and sit at night and wonder the validity? Is it like, what is the outcome of some of these particular conversations? Like, which ones are we going to act on? What does that action look like? When we get feedback on pricing, how much feedback is it going to take for us to say, okay, let's look at adjusting the pricing based on 5 showings, 6 showings, 10 showings, 12 showings? Where is it that we need to actually make the adjustment? And having a conversation and really setting the expectation with sellers on what that might look like in their marketplace, I think is one of the secrets to this phase of the process for you guys.
Can I just pipe up here? This,
Yeah.
Mary Murphy. I've done quite a few
Right.
of these private exclusives, and I wish I had this training before I did it, because I think the 9 reasons why shared to the client are so important, and then seeing what's important to the client always. And I didn't have this, and I've made a few mistakes, I have to say. But what I really took away from this training this morning that I want to implement is making it an event for the Compass agents, because what you hear a lot of agents say is that they put it on private exclusive and no agents turned up to look at the private exclusive. I can hear somebody in the background. I don't know who's, whatever. Anyway, so it's very important. If I could just give my 10 cents worth, having done quite a few private exclusives, having that event, setting it up and for Compass agents will go a long way to actually getting the Compass agents to view your place, because I've had so many sellers say, well, nobody showed up. I mean, because I didn't hold an event. I just didn't do it right. And this is just so valuable. I'm just blown away. It's really great.
Yeah, I mean, the concept, obviously, of anything that's going to be early, exclusive, private, whatever word you use, puts us in a position, guys, where the seller wants to know that means activity.
Yeah.
And if we're not producing activity or we're leaving it up to chance, as Mary said, like just by listing in the system, it's not going to help us. And then sellers immediately are going, wait a second, what was I sold on here?
Yeah.
Right? How many other expectations now do I need to kind of go back and check with myself on? And so really staging that event, making sure that you got, even if it's 5 or 10 agents within your own office where you're like, guys, I need you to come to this listing because I need you to give me feedback. I need the seller to see presence. I need the seller to see bodies. Any way you look at it, it's still another pairs of eyes and perceptions on that listing. And that's going to be really beneficial going into the launch of any listing in any market. Great feedback, Mary. Thank you. Nomita, go ahead. You're on mute, Nomita. You're on mute.
Sorry. So I said I need advice and suggestions. So I have yesterday a client signed a private exclusive. That's a townhouse. And he said, if I only get this price, and I did frame it, I didn't have this morning's information. I did frame it saying like, this is a good way to test the market to see, if we can get your price with the private exclusive. And so we came up with the price, and he was happy, signed the listing. But another one is that this is a bit of a challenge. The place is chock block full. And how am I going to hold a private exclusive, have an event? And this one, I think I really need price information based on you know, the size, the location, etc. He told me that he had an appraisal last year in October for 3.2 million, and I can't find comps for that. And I took the private, I haven't signed the listing with the private exclusive and all at 3 million, and I said, you know, we can adjust the price. But how would I did the event?
There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just want to get to your question. I just want to make sure that I'm clear on it. So how would you do an event when it's completely filled with stuff? Is that what you're trying to ask?
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really three-phase marketing. That's more about just making sure that listings are prepared. And before we're getting ready to go on market, which includes an exclusive period, which includes a private period, which includes that coming soon period, we want this property to be the same condition that it's going to be day one, like when it's live to the normal public. So this isn't something I'm trying to get accomplished when you're moving things out and things are going into storage, because all feedback is valuable. And we want the feedback that comes from those particular events, those exercises, those situations. We want them to matter and to mean something to the owner. And so you wouldn't want to do that. I mean, sometimes we can't avoid it, as everyone understands, right? Sometimes we go to market and it's not the best, but we want it to be in the best situation.
No, but we are also letting them know, like, okay, we have it as private exclusive, and we'll give feedback as to the reaction of Compass agents regarding price. So how are we going to get that information?
You're only going to get it if the property's ready to go, Nomita. Like you can't get the property. I can't give you feedback on price if I walk in and I have no idea what the layout really feels like if there's stuff all over the place. Like, the property has to be ready, period. Has to be ready to go. What else you guys got? And feel free to chime in. I see Lydia. I had a brokers open and private exclusive. Invited agents in Delaware were allowed to show the property to other agents. So I invited other agents individually. I had a great turnout, great feedback, and the sellers are going to personalize more before picture day tomorrow. Which, and again, sometimes, like in contrast to what Nomita just said, right? If it's not perfect and the seller's like, well, I just kind of want to go with it like this, having a private exclusive and starting to show it or doing a pre-event is actually a great way then for them to hear the feedback, like, hey, this isn't ready yet. Or, hey, you know, this looks good, but, you know, it needs some cleaning, or it needs some painting, or it needs this done, or it needs a little bit more work for me to feel good about this price. You know, if you're having a problem getting a seller on board, getting those things together, having that kind of pre-event could actually be to your benefit and in your favor.
Hey, Mike, so I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my first time that I'm going to be doing this for a private exclusive. And I'm wondering, is there supposed to be a sign already out, or until it's on MLS? Because I'm kind of, you know, the thought was mentioned, invite your neighbors. Well, how are the neighbors going to know that it's actually listed without a sign out there?
No, I mean, and you guys, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of opinions on this, but I'm a no sign guy. Like, there's no sense in trying to build the word exclusive if everyone already knows about it. The whole purpose of how your neighbor would hear about it is because they're being personally invited by you or by the owner to come over. Like, they don't want to see the sign, or then it kind of ruins the identity of private or something that's exclusive before market, right?
Okay.
We want people to really have that feeling of like, oh, wow, no one knows about this yet.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Mike, I don't think our MLS would allow that. If we put a sign outside, it needs to be an MLS. So we're going to get in trouble. So I wouldn't put a sign out until we're ready to go.
Yeah. And again, everybody has different, you know, Lydia says my MLS does allow it. Everybody has different MLS systems, and you guys would be surprised on how vastly different some of those rules can be in regards to marketing and timing and whether I can invite other agents or not other agents. And so, like, there's a lot of different formulas to that. So at the end of the day, regardless if the MLS allows it or not on a private, I don't want the sign in. I don't want this to be appeared as available to the public yet until it is available to the public.
Mike, I have this is also the first time that I do the private exclusive, and the house is ready to be in the market. They took like 6 months to fix it. Everything is clean and sharp and decorated and staging. So they are the market support like a 2.5, but no, 2.3, but they want 2.5 because they have a larger lot. They invest a lot on the garden and more features and more everything. So if I want to maximize the price, and let's see, I put it in the market 2 weeks ago and I didn't have any response at all. So how I'm going to maximize the price if I didn't get any response and some agents come with the price, no, you need to lower it and it's going to be 2.3 because the market says that it's going to be 2.3. So it's going to be hard for me to tell them first, I'm going to maximize your price and your income and later lowering the price. I feel like I'm lying to them.
Well, maximizing isn't maximizing or increasing the number based on just a hypothetical. It's maximizing it based on what's possible and what the potential of a market is. And if what's possible for that house is 2.3 million, I want to maximize every dollar I can get out of the 2.3 million. If I listed at 3.2 million, because I'm trying to portray a picture of maximizing value, that's not what that means. Maximizing value is about getting every dollar I can out of it, right? Most sellers, if they overlist, end up getting less than what the property is worth, just based on the periodics and the perception of reduction of price and less valuable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the whole pitch around maximizing value isn't about necessarily getting you more than what the property is worth. It's getting exactly what the property is worth and then trying to squeeze a little bit more out of that. That's not hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars, right? And in some markets, that's not even $5,000 to $10,000 worth of movement. You know, it's about really saying, okay, what is the best purpose? What's the best way for us to situate this listing? What's the best way to portray this listing so that we can get the most out of the actual market value? If you and I were to pull comps on any given property, there's going to be a range, right? And so let's say for discussion purposes, the range of that is 2.3 million to 2.4 million. I want to get to 2.4 million, but that doesn't mean that 3.2 million because I got a better garden is possible. And so what you're going to hear on your feedback right away, especially if you're not getting any remarks and no showings in 2 weeks, I mean, you and I could talk about a million different things with photography, with words, etc. It's overpriced, period. End of discussion. Like I can promise you, unless it's listed as a condo and it's a detached single family, like it's got a mislisting, like you guys are overpriced. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know, but most of the 2.3 million smaller.
And that was just for discussion purposes. I have no idea what your property's worth. I don't have the comparables. But at the end of the day, like if the market comparables show a range, you want to obviously maximize to the top part of that range. If the feedback, though, that I'm getting from every agent that comes in is that I'm overpriced, it doesn't matter what your opinion is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the seller's opinion is. They're not the ones buying it, right? You're not the one buying it. It's that buyer that's got to determine what is this worth to me and how is that being, portrayed. And if it is beautiful and it has a bunch of upgrades and it's got additional space and outdoor greatness, that's worth a little, but that's not necessarily worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to some people. And so again, I think what you could do best is really sit down with that seller and talk about, again, what Chirag said. What is the purpose of feedback, right? What is the outcome of feedback and what are our next steps? Like, what are we going to do with the things that agents are telling us? Because sweeping it under the rug is going to keep you guys on the market for the next 12 months.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yes, thank you.
Sorry if that was abrupt too. I'm not trying to be abrupt, just trying to speak clearly. All right, guys.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
This will be our last question for today, just to keep everybody on time.
Okay, so I had a scenario where I did a private exclusive and we set the price fairly high in respect of comps, and it went under and everybody was so happy. And then my sellers felt as though, well, if we would have gone to market, would we have gotten more? And so is this like situation of like they got everything they wanted, but then they were like, well, we didn't have the same competition because we didn't go to market. And so I'm just curious about what your thoughts are on that.
There's an element around speed, and we play this game in the negotiation environments all the time. I've been teaching professional negotiation for 15 years, and I've taught it in military, government, like almost every environment you can think of. And this idea of competition, right, is speculative. Like the speculation is well, if we put it on the market, we're going to get competition, and the speculation then is that we'll get a better deal than someone who had the deal. And what you want to do, and unfortunately, the answer to this is only relevant prior to it happening. Does that make sense? Because the only way for us to truly fix this is that the next time you go in, and this is for everybody, right? This is a lesson learned for everybody. I want to talk about both situations and say what's more important to you. Answering that question that's going to be left in your mind, because it's going to get left in your mind every single time, right? Of whether or not competition would have brought me a higher price, or taking that early offer that you knew was a slam dunk and met what your need was, gave you what you wanted. What's more important? And talking to them in advance. Conflict in general only arises when our expectations are surprised. When what our brain really wanted wasn't discussed, and it didn't even know that it wanted it. And so keep in mind, the more that you can kind of say, hey, you're going to feel this, you're going to think this, you're going to have this conversation with me 3 months from now, do that in the advance. It will eliminate this concern for both sides.
That's really helpful. Thank you.
You bet, guys. Hey, I hope you guys enjoy the session. I'm going to be facilitating both sessions tomorrow, and then obviously hosting my session on Wednesday. So I will see you guys really, really soon. Thank you guys for coming out today. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Mike.
Bye, guys.